Jerky of Nebraska.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom. Sunday boom. Sunday Sports Ticket live boom. The Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685 if you're with me. If you're here and you want it known that you're here, hit us with a what's up. Let us know you're at the club, you're in the party, and we will include you in the show. Plenty of good stuff on a Sunday. Lots to talk about. You can follow on all the live video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, channel 961. Download the Ticket app if you haven't. Carry that with you wherever you go, whenever you go, and it is appreciated as well. Lots to talk about in the course of the hour, of course, this thing. Programming update. We will, in fact, have live programming tomorrow, Labor Day. 6 a.m. beginning. We'll have some different combinations and lineups tomorrow, but we'll have folks all day for you to talk about the Huskers. Whether it's football, volleyball, wrestling, whatever you want to talk about. NFL Week 1 games Thursday and Friday. Lincoln High School Public School football has begun, and lots to talk about there. I had a pretty good game on the Ticket Friday night. Lots to talk about as far as the lineup here on the Ticket, and I'm proud of what we've put together. And of course, the Gump family rules apply since it's one-on-one. We give the full disclaimer: one-on-one is like a box of chocolates. You're never quite sure what you're going to get or where we're going to end up. But let's start with the sports ticker, because the lead of the day, the lead story of the day so far, and I have a feeling that changes throughout the course of this thing. Bach, you get the YouTube thing flowing?
Yeah.
Allo's,
working on it.
Allo's doing its own thing, I see. So I was trying to make sure that we are getting to the people we're trying to get to. The lead story, and there are quite a few stories, but in case you missed it, there was an amazing women's college volleyball day that started for Husker fans in Nashville. And the Huskers facing their third top 7 opponent of the year. They started the season by knocking off number 3 Pitt in 4 sets, and then they swept Stanford. They went to Nashville and knocked off Lipscomb University Friday night. And then today, early on, some pressure and some stress happening for Nebraska volleyball. But it's exactly why you schedule the kind of schedule that the Huskers have. Jalen Reyes was on the station Wednesday night talking in full about in order to grow the game and grow the sport and take care of it, it needs high-level talent in high-level televised matches to give exposure. And it worked out just that way. The Huskers bounced back after a Friday night sweep to take on number 7 Kentucky. And Kentucky came out strong, winning set 1 and then set 2. Down 2 sets, and then the reverse sweep is difficult business. But give Danny credit for making adjustments in game management, rotational changes. Made a couple of swaps later in the match, and the Huskers pull off a reverse sweep to knock off Kentucky 3-2. And you want to give full credit for it because, again, on the road, you're away from home. it's easy to say that you're let down and set beside and behind some of the opponents, but you face Lipscomb, which is not a volleyball powerhouse, but then, hey, they find a way to win, and it sets them up at 4-0 on the season. And then they come back home to Lincoln for a couple of matches next week. If you do not have your schedule set, Friday night, 7:00 against Wright State at Devaney Center, and then Sunday at 1 against Cal. There are several other things. It's kind of one of those combination situations where Wright State and Cal will play Saturday at 11 at Devaney Center, but the Huskers will take on Wright State at 7:00 Friday night. Of course, Husker football Saturday night at 6 p.m. at Memorial Stadium, and then Husker volleyball Sunday at Devaney at 1. Now, that leads for a lot. There's been discussion in text line. If you're out there, let me know. We have been asked to do what we've done for Husker basketball and Husker football, which is provide post-match conversation. And I want to make sure we're nailing this right. So if there is interest and intrigue in us doing post-match shows for volleyball, open to it. Jalen Reyes made himself available for some of that. Of course, it'll take him a minute from Devaney Center on most nights. But again, our proximity on 11th would allow us to do some of these things. So before we schedule it, we'll listen to the fan base, and you guys let us know if that's a thing that you're interested in, a thing that you want to happen. Along the way, the same thing can be said. We've done a pretty good job of covering Husker football and Husker basketball post games. But is there intrigue? Is there interest in us doing post game shows for women's basketball and softball and baseball? So I'm open to the discussion because we want to provide as much Husker coverage as possible. Again, full disclosure, the squirrels are out, so I will constantly be distracted as they roll by to the ticket window. Bach, you know better. You absolutely know. Especially we have some young ones. We have some newbies, and they are all over the place. They don't have the comfort level that some of the more mature squirrels do, so they're all over the place. It's all over the place. And good to know. We will, in fact, talk about Huskers win over Cincinnati and then what's in play for Akron this Saturday. Also, a thing going on. There is college football today. The U.S. Open is also today. We have Virginia Tech and South Carolina having added in Atlanta. And it's been an interesting game. It's 10-8. It's 10-8. Tech with its its offensive struggles. Lenore Sellers has been pitched by some as a premier quarterback in the country, but the Hokies have managed to throttle him a little bit and keep him out of the end zone for most of the game. But that's part of the deal. And of course, the nightcap is going to be pretty exceptional. That Notre Dame and Miami. We go back to one of the more famous games and rivalries that it'll be, in that old one, it was the Catholics and the convicts. And those two will match up on national TV tonight. And then, of course, the Bill Belichick era at North Carolina on national TV tomorrow. Bach, I'm going to bring you in here because there's some things I need to know from you. Your interest level of North Carolina and under Belichick, 1 to 10 on a scale. What's your interest level?
Well, it's interesting that it gets that primetime spot right. I'm glad that it does get something outside of the normal that just kind of fall into, the college football Saturday, which was incredible. I would probably put it at about About an 8. I mean, and that's kind of unfair. I mean, if you would have told me at any time throughout before I knew that Bill Belichick was going to be coaching a college game, I'd say it'd be a 10 no matter what. And so, I mean, I think it's a 10. It's just that the TCU factor is a little bit, they're not exactly rolling like they were a couple of years ago, but it's fine. I mean, I'm completely happy with that being the first game. Gio Lopez coming in, starting there for Coach Bill Belichick, and we get to see what it looks like in college. Can't win without Brady, they said in the pros. We'll see if he can get it done at the collegiate level.
I find in deep intrigue that the Drake May conversation at North Carolina and Belichick. Like there's so many parts of that. Like there's some folks that were joking online. Like, that's going to be the real surprise when Drake May shows up under center for North Carolina for Coach Bill Belichick. I'm not real sure. Trubisky's will probably be in the house. Right? Like all of that run of North Carolina quarterbacks will all find their way back to Chapel
Sam
Hill.
Howell still playing.
Right. Like it's the full deal. And that game is actually in Chapel Hill. And I can't remember. I know that they've had some Saturday night, ABC games featuring the Tar Heels. But at Chapel Hill on a Monday night, like the Monday night kickoff game for the year, is going to be in Chapel Hill. Here's the other thing: is that TCU's the favorite at 3.5. And again, we've had the conversation in full that I throw away most preseason polls and predictions. Like I've blown my nose in several of the napkins along the way because, quite frankly, what do we know about North Carolina under Bill Belichick? Like, we've never seen it. So to have them as an underdog or a favorite, not real sure. Not sure what the real point of value in it, Bach. Right? Like, I mean, do we know what North Carolina will look like under Bill Belichick?
Not necessarily. That's the question, right? I mean, we were seeing over the weekend, especially, it doesn't always, what you're handed over to you is not necessarily what you're going to continue. And so I think there is at least a safety net or a belief it wasn't the bottom of the barrel North Carolina program that you're getting. Mac Brown, had them at 8 or 9 wins mostly, kind of fell back closer to 500 last year. But you would assume that he's not starting from scratch, which would be good. But again, those are assumptions, those are predictions. And on the TCU side of it, I still think the most random thing I ever saw was Sonny Dykes taking TCU to the national championship game. And that was in a 14 playoff. So we'll see what happens. There could be more randomness ahead of us. But that was strange. I just didn't really ever get it going at Cal. Got in a position to get the TCU job from getting things rolling at SMU a little bit, but I never thought I'd say Sonny Dykes TCU national championship game, yet here we were. Of course, Georgia fans and fans that want to jump on them will remind you that they got blown out in that game. All right, well, whatever. Tell me how many national championship you've played for recently,
right?
Right. Especially at TCU.
Yeah, wouldn't we be satisfied with that for a bit?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that'd
be the year we'd be talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. Since our eyes and focus have been on these games, and again, to look at it with the official week 1, of course, Miami, Notre Dame is actually 2.5 point favorite in Miami Gardens. Which, what did we learn yesterday about home games on national TV? Did we accept that Florida State looked better than we could have imagined? Was there anybody telling you other than Lee Corso that Florida State was going to win that game?
Thomas Castellanos was pretty sure about it all offseason.
Right. Yeah, right.
Other than those guys, not a whole lot.
Right? Like we missed the layup. And then tell me that, did we have LSU putting on the show in Death Valley? Did we have that? Did we miss that?
When again, Dabo Swinney predicted an undefeated season for his Clemson Tigers. They didn't get it out of week 1. I was just quite frankly very intrigued with that game. The Tigers, of course, LSU Tigers had lost several of their opening games, so I think that led a lot of doubt into that. But it was just a fantastic showcase of Maybe not the quarterback battle that you would quite want to see. Certainly more offense than what we saw with Texas and Ohio State. So just depends on what you're looking for. But it was just such a special opening weekend with top 10 matchups in every time slot. And then, the occasional upset alert here and there. But in those games, I think lived up to it. There wasn't anything, 45-17. You could tell it was over in the first quarter type of thing. It was an incredible Saturday.
Yeah, I found it reinvigorating to have to watch them with new eyes. Like that was really the point, was to watch every game brand new. Like brand new. What we thought we knew of Ohio State didn't really show up the way we thought it would show up. Michigan, I'm not sure what we saw. Oregon looked like a team playing somebody it had no business playing, right? So we understood that USC, same things apply. Right, they look fantastic, but again, who were they playing and why? Right, to ask that question. Washington, looking at Washington against a Colorado State team last night, I was trying to figure out what am I looking at? Like, is this a good team? Are they well coached? Are they responding well? Bach, just off the top of your head, do you know what the Big Ten's record was yesterday?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it was off to a good start.
Only 2 losses. 2 losses. Washington, UCLA, and Northwestern. And I felt horrible for David Braun because Northwestern looked like a team that, the kid that has to go to the birthday party, but he knows that nobody at the birthday party really likes him. Right? That's how it felt with Northwestern. Preston Stone just ran for his life. And you forget, quarterback play is so reliant upon having a decent offensive line to protect you. If somebody's banging their head, their helmet on your elbow as you're throwing, you're not going to make good throws. It doesn't matter who you are. And then Wisconsin, Billy Edwards got hurt early. And now they've got a situation. They ended up with 17 points. Iowa looked like a team that, they look like Iowa.
Yeah.
They look like Iowa.
All that 5-yard out hype that we were getting in the offseason it didn't really go anywhere.
Bach, I was trying to figure that out. So we're going to go through Saturday's results. We're going to go through Saturday's results. We'll talk about Thursday night's game for the Huskers. We'll talk a little bit more about volleyball. Bach, we'll talk about the clash in Paris because that is who we are. And then we'll talk about the U.S. Open because there's some interesting goings on following the American players in the U.S. Championships. We'll have more for you here, one-on-one on the Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Feeling off lately? Struggling with your mental well-being can make everyday life harder, and it can also increase the risk of substance use. Early support can make a big difference. Visit myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com and take the free mental health check-in assessment. In just a few minutes, you'll get non-judgmental feedback, local resources, and next steps to help you feel more in control and supported. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you wanna come and test If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
In Nebraska, we show up when friends need help. We check in on our neighbors. That's why it's important to know the warning signs of suicide. If you have a friend or neighbor who's withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talks about suicide, find out how you can help. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. You have the power to save a life. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is, in fact, Clash in Paris Sunday, and Bach, does it throw you off schedule when there's a pay-per-view Sunday afternoon?
It certainly is right now. I haven't been able to watch too much of Clash in Paris, and you know, we still got Nuclear Heat coming up tonight, so I'm gonna lean on Augie a little bit for the specifics of it. I'm gonna have to just kind of catch up what's going on, but that's the over. Well, it's a combination of two things. It's the fact that it's in Paris, so it's kind of just at a random time, and also it's college football opening weekend, so I dedicated a lot of time to that.
Yeah, I was trying to be kind in it. Again, the multi-stream thing happening in full. I had four things going on. So I had Clash in Paris on one screen, Virginia Tech, South Carolina on another screen. I had the Royals for a bit, who fell 5-0 to Detroit. They are still 3 games back in the wild card race. And on a short schedule, but the thing that set it up, we had eyes on Seattle and the Mariners, what they were doing, because they're the team to catch. But while we were looking forward, here come the Texas Rangers, who are now also 3 games back. And it was like, wait a minute, what are they doing? Texas, what are you doing here at the club? Like, now your games are meaningful? Doggone it, we weren't paying attention. So we'll follow that along the way, and of course, high school football has taken off as well. So there's some watching of that, and then of course the U.S. Open. That is our national championship. Why does it not get attention, Bach? What is it about the U.S. Open? Because in the John McEnroe days, it was a big deal. In the Venus and Serena days, it was big. Agassi. As a sports fan, what is your disconnect from the U.S. Open in tennis?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's kind of like, I think part of it's just kind of what Peter Colbolt had talked about before. You know, it's just seems like it has declined a little bit in popularity in general, and I think it's just missing. I mean, what we've seen, the Caitlin Clarks or different people that really kind of bring it to that next level. And I don't know if they, it's tough. There's been some all-time greats over the last couple of years, so it's not that, maybe you just need the Billy Madison factor, something that's going to really rattle the cages in the media or something. But I'm not sure why it doesn't quite.
Is it lack of American stars in full?
I mean, that's always. I mean, relatability is always part of it. I mean, and that's part, like, even when we talk about Peter Colbolt, I mean, he's, 5/8 of his team is basically outside of the States.
Oh man, yeah, it's a European connection.
Yeah,
like it is a thing that a big part of it, and it's part of his frustration is making sure that there's enough talent locally and being developed and that is available to him. He has to recruit to Lincoln, Nebraska. Like there's no real easy way to do it. Herman has the same thing where a lot of, even on the women's team, there's a lot of players from outside of it. Clash in Paris, you're down to the fatal four-way. LA Knight, most people are expecting this to be, his involvement leading to another feud with one of the four. I'm not sure what you do. I think the only person that could take the title from Seth would be Roman. Like Bach, I'm just not, and I'm not sure when that would happen. But then I asked the question: what happened to Gunter?
He's taking some time off, it appears.
Right? Like, is that from the strenuous schedule? Is that from the run? Is that from an injury? What's that from?
Well, they had said that it was that. Was it I can't remember what injury, but they used it in the match to kind of hand over the belt. And so I think it was part of that. But I mean, I always feel for those guys like him that are just such workhorses. Seth Rollins often figures into that of just like, I've watched, it's enough to ask somebody to watch 2 episodes of WWE every week. But those guys are on it for the past 4 years or so. I mean, maybe even Rollins, when he gets hurt, he's back in like 3 weeks. He won't take any time off.
Yeah, it's and the fact that Becky's back active, right?
Yeah.
Certainly matters, but it's all the things that are in play. How do you want this thing to play out? In your mind, what's the headline after Clash in Paris?
I do think Seth Rollins probably wins, like you're saying. I think that makes the most sense. I mean, if you just flip-flop the title for CM Punk to get it, I think you build up a bigger moment than that. I don't think, LA Knight, obviously, and CM Punk, to what you were pointing, looks like they're probably going to get into a feud here, cost each other the match, something to that degree. Jey Uso, why take the belt off of him if you're just going to put it right back on him this quick? So I think Rollins wins. And unfortunately, I hate to say it to a degree, because they put on such a great show, I think, for all their different broadcast partners. They got to find something else. And that's what Sammy just beating Solo on a SmackDown there. Honestly, that might be the headline heading out of the weekend, because Clash in Paris so far has kind of went about the way that you would expect it to.
Yeah, that's the point, is that we weren't sure they would give the strap to Sammy.
Yeah.
Like, we really weren't sure. And there's several reasons for it, right? But then it leads me. Because remember, everybody had the Sammy flip as being a part of it, right? That Sammy was going to turn. But no, that didn't happen yet. And I found full interest in it, bro. Like, what are we doing? Who's the top tier of folks? Like, because not everybody can hold the big strap, right? That's a fair statement.
Oh yeah,
right. That Jay and Gunter are kind of the baseline, that you have to be at least that.
Well, and I always think there's a huge difference between chasing the belt and holding the belt. Chasing the belt, a lot of people can get behind a fun story of finally getting there. And then what do you do with your championship reign? And that's where you start to kind of question folks. And even, writing kind of gets into that. It kind of gets bland. I think a lot of Cody Rhodes stories over the last several years, once you get to WrestleMania and SummerSlam, that's great, but you can see the writing on the wall for what WrestleMania and SummerSlam are going to be. So you just kind of have to go through these other feuds to get there. And so, it's tough. It is tough to hold the top belt and keep people entertained.
What are you going to do with Lesnar?
Obviously, he's circling John Cena, and John Cena's back to kind of his good guy deal. I don't know if you're going to. That's going to be so fascinating when his final match comes around to see if is he going to give the rub to somebody, like is pretty much traditional for folks to do as they head their way out, or is he just going to kind of get the win? Because Brock, from what they're saying, is they're kind of going to bring him back to the Beast Incarnate type of role, which would be interesting because this would be without Paul Heyman, but basically rolling through everybody in a quick matter. That's my favorite Brock Lesnar. I would kind of bring that back. I think you need monsters, to be honest with you. I've talked about this too. They don't have giant. At one time, WWE was the land of giants. And when you looked in the ring, you said, that guy could crush me in half.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like
everybody in the
everybody.
building would look at
Yeah.
that and say that.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of like skinny guys that flip around and it's like, yeah, I mean, they could still beat me up. But, so I kind of like a few different guys that not just are winning matches in 30 seconds look like they could. I mean, and that's the kind of the point of Gunther. Gunther, they put him in that role to a degree. But it was just Chop City, and he's never beaten anybody in, unless it's, a squash match. He's not, I mean, he's big, but he's just not overpowering as a boy
he
that Brock
was
Lesnar
huge.
was.
He was 300
He
plus.
used to be, yeah.
Yeah, he used to
Walter.
be 3. Yeah, he was what's it? Husky?
There you go. Yeah.
He was husky, lost all the weight. And then, and again, it's been a big part of it. So let's go through it. How many wrestlers can you name who could or should hold the world title strap? Let's go through. I mean, Lesnar, I'm not sure if he ever gets it back, but why bring him back if you're not?
Right.
Roman.
Absolutely.
Seth, as we currently stand, Cody as we currently stand. Cena just had it, right?
Yeah.
Jay had it. Gunter had it. Who else? Who am I missing?
My answer is always Randy Orton because that's my my guy. Yeah.
Right? Randy. If Randy got it, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
And that's the line, right? That's kind of the line, which is where I wonder about Braun Breaker. I know they're getting him ready for it, but I'm just not sure I'm buying it. Bronson Reed falls in that category as well. Solo, what are we doing with? Here's the thing that's happened with Solo. Solo's kind of becoming more of a personality.
Yeah.
Like he's funny. Like Solo's funny. And I think that's a big part of it, right? That be careful because you were trying to turn him into the monster. And then you created Fatu as a monster. And I thought Fatu was on his way. Like I thought Fatu was going to get the strap. But you turned him into a funny guy, a lovable guy. So then what? What do you do with those two?
I'm surprised. That's what I'm surprised. That's what partially surprised me with the Sammy win is that you went through Fatu to lose it to Solo. Okay, I didn't love that decision, but it's finally paying off Solo for kind of what he's done with the company over the years.
Right.
And then it feels like Solo maybe won the feud with Fatu. Maybe they're going to circle back to it, maybe without a belt. But to me, that was the payoff, was that Fatu was going to turn around and get the belt. Now, maybe they have bigger, brighter things for Jacob Fatu at some point, but that's where it feels like, I mean, they recognize, you can see it when they're doing like merch sales, the wolf thing. I mean, it's all popping up left and right.
Yep.
And then that's why I'm really questioning the whole booking decision to take the belt off Fatu just to give it to Sammy at some point, with Solo kind of in the middle there with a very much weakened bloodline. I mean, those guys, those three that he has with him, there's one that's tall, but I mean, other than that, they just don't.
I don't even know his
provide
name.
a whole lot.
I don't even know his name.
Right.
Like and I felt bad. Hoss and I were talking about it this morning. I didn't know his name. I felt terrible. D-Man says somebody in that fatal four-way will be the fourth member of the Vision. Yeah, I think that's kind of the lean. Dan says this. He says, seeing the basketball fellas at Arrowhead was epic. Mass looks like he's ready to get that first tournament win. Go Big Red. So Dan, there's a couple people that have said that to me. That it looks like there's work being put in behind the scenes for Husker basketball. That this will be a different kind of Husker team than we've seen recently. And there's more size, more length, and a couple of extra shooters. We'll see, because we still need to figure out who's going to run the show. Like who's going to quarterback this thing the way that it needs to be quarterbacked along the way. But those are the questions. Ryan P says the ring general broke his nose before CM Punk at the last pay-per-view. Yep, I get that thing. OG says this. Aki says this. He says, what up, DP? All in on the volleyball post game. I just want to be sure that before we invest time and resource in it, that's a thing that people want. Now, I know today would have been a great day for it because that 5-set win, reverse sweep, there were some tentative moments.
Oh yeah.
Like there were some moments that Volleyball Nation, especially on social media, were kind of clenched up. It's like, oh, number one team in the country gets hemmed up. But here's the thing about women's college volleyball. We have to remember the same things that we have to remember about college football. Data. How much data do we have and how much data do we know? Yes, there are four All-Americans on Nebraska's volleyball team. And they added some tremendous high-level talent and some versatility. So they've got some folks. And when we talk about the four, you're still not talking about Landfair, Choboy, et cetera. So there's some depth and talent. But also remember that the reigning defending national champions are also in the Big Ten. Oh, that's number 2 Penn State. The real rival of Nebraska volleyball in recent history is number 8 Wisconsin. And you talk about a long team? Oh, my goodness. That is a tall, long volleyball team, man. I was watching them. Also, sitting in the nuisance pile, Texas, who knocked Nebraska out of the tournament a couple of years ago. They have some athletes. And they look like they're being coached and streamed to make a run. That doesn't even include some of the Pitts and Stanfords of the world. So it's not going to be easy. Being number one in women's college volleyball, they legitimately have 16 contenders. The top 16 teams in the country could all win the title in women's college volleyball, and it'll be an interesting run. So the fact that Nebraska has been successful in knocking off number 3, number 6, and number 7 in their first 4 games, it is a valuable, loud statement for Danny Busboom Kelly and what the Huskers are doing. They come back home Friday against Wright State, and then Sunday they're here. So you've got an opportunity. Cal, it comes to town, and that's also a pretty good program. So Bach will throw the break. We will recap or reset. Of course, Seth Rollins wins the Fatal 4-Way. Penn CM Punk, just for the record. So we knew, because there's some folks who thought that it would be Jay who took the pen. Becky's in the ring with him, just so you're catching that. just in case you hadn't caught that. We'll talk more about the Husker football team. It's still 10-8 in the third quarter. South Carolina and Virginia Tech. We'll catch up with that as well. We'll be right back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Feeling off lately? Struggling with your mental well-being can make everyday life harder, and it can also increase the risk of substance use. Early support can make a big difference. Visit myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com and take the free mental health check-in assessment. In just a few minutes, you'll get non-judgmental feedback, local resources, and next steps to help you feel more in control and supported. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
In Nebraska, we show up when friends need help. We check in on our neighbors. That's why it's important to know the warning signs of suicide. If you have a friend or neighbor who's withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talks about suicide, find out how you can help. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. You have the power to save a life. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us,
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
Ah, this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. The Clash in Paris, yeah. CM Punk was about to put Seth to sleep. A hooded, masked wrestler came in from behind and hit him in the man bits and collapsed him. And, of course, Seth stomped him and put him away. Turns out it was Becky. It was Becky. So we're not surprised by that. A 16-2 week one for the Big Ten football conference. We need to, before you talk to Ty, you got to ask him what the SEC was.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Let's get his take on it. Pretty fantastic. But, yeah, Northwestern and UCLA taking losses for the Big Ten. The nerve of them. What is wrong with you? Don't you know there's a reputation to uphold? Like, what are we doing?
But did Utah basically save the Big 12 by stomping UCLA? Because the Big 12 had a rough weekend until that happened.
Oh, Kansas State.
Yeah.
Kansas. Man. Yeah, you had a big kickoff return. It's 17-8 South Carolina over Virginia Tech. And I, in full disclosure, had zero expectation for Virginia Tech. Also knew it was bad when they came out in the Tech orange instead of the maroon. Let's not.
They've got to figure it out there with Brent Pry because it just feels like college football is a little better when Virginia Tech's dangerous.
Yeah,
maybe they can turn it around today, but
but they're not.
They're not doing it right.
They're not doing it. It looks. I mean, you're having difficulty scoring touchdowns, and ask Texas. Listen, if you're a football fan, and if we say on Thursday that Ohio State is held to 14 points. We're coordinating. Texas is legit. They're legitimately the number one team in the country. If we say on Thursday that Ohio State holds Texas to 7 points, legitimately they're the best team in the country. We would have lost our minds. It's a blowout. Either way, we thought it was a blowout. If we said, I listened to prognosticators on social media, and there's no way that Alabama's going to lose to Florida State, but how funny would it be if they did? Right? That would put DeBoer immediately on the hot seat, etc. Well, guess what? That absolute thing. Do we not understand that speaking in absolutes on sports radio is just probably a bad thing? You probably should be a little careful of speaking in absolutes. Like he's absolutely the best, or they're absolutely number one, or he's absolutely the number one pick, or they're absolutely going to blow this team out, or that team is absolutely terrible. Because the two win Florida State Seminoles, it would have been easy to say they're going to be terrible. Alabama's going to blow them out, except for they're not. They're not.
It was interesting too because when you look at you knew it all off season. Then when you actually kind of look at Florida State's sideline and see Gus Malzahn and see Tony White and just kind of realize they've got an all-star coaching staff.
Yeah.
And so it was just from that from a 2-win team, I understand, but I still think it's an absolute travesty that team didn't get to play for the playoffs. And I think that probably led partially to kind of what happened to Florida State last year. If I went undefeated through the ACC and wasn't allowed to play in the playoffs, it kind of takes away a little bit from, okay, well, what is the motive? Is college football against us, all that sort of stuff. I mean, and they're like every team, they're still going to have some stuff to work on, but I'm interested to see where they go in the polls. But the other part of this, which is really fun, is that we look at, okay, well, they beat a top 10 team. They should be top 11, top 15, whatever it should be. Maybe Alabama's terrible. Maybe neither team is good. We don't know. And that again, furthers into the season. Even though now we've seen some game action, we still haven't seen, it's still pretty short sample size. So it's, again, the ride is fun. This is why I love it.
I just hope that everybody, I know it takes the first week to get a real grip on being a fan for the season, right? All the expectation, wrong, right? Stop allowing people to goad you into believing that a team is the number 8 team in the country. You don't know. Stop allowing people to tell you that somebody's the preseason Heisman Trophy leading candidate or the second or third best quarterback. You haven't seen them all, and you don't know who they're playing for or playing with. So if we've learned nothing, it is a rock solid reminder. Pause, chill, let it play out.
Well, and I think Preston Stone's a pretty good example too. Preston Stone's a proven quarterback. He has some good numbers over there at SMU. To your point earlier, it certainly makes a difference sometimes. I've seen it before. I've seen pretty good quarterbacks transfer into Northwestern, and they don't put up the same numbers. Northwestern's a tough place to win.
Right. But that's the thing. You don't know who he's throwing to. You don't know how they're going to protect him. You don't know if the running game is going to work. Yeah, you can have arm talent and you can have a high IQ. Doesn't mean you're going to win where you're going. We don't know until we know. But this is why we get to sit here and talk about it. Just to remind folks, hey, calm down. Calm down. Don't go anywhere. We've got a Sunday full for you. Lots of activity throughout the ticket. Don't go anywhere. Ticket Sunday nights begin. Ty Rodriguez from gymnastics will be here. Kaylee Dinker will be here, talk a little hoops and bring her coach on. Becky and my daughter, she has an interesting guest tonight. They'll have an interesting conversation. And then Bach and Nuclear Heat. So, and then some replays to get through tonight. Yes, we will be live Labor Day here on the ticket. So don't go anywhere. More ticket coming up.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all